Okay. Let's see. Wasn't that like Todd's best copy presentation ever, by the way? Like, that was amazing. Like, seriously, that was full persuasion. I'm thinking about adding all these tricks into my BSLs now. You know, for real. That was pretty cool. And, well, I hope you guys don't find too many fallacies in my presentation. Now that you are pretty much worked up. Well, guys, I didn't know what title to add into this presentation, to be honest. So I wrote, "When life takes a sharp turn, an entrepreneur's tale of recovery." You know, and well, next slide. That's kind of contradictory, right? I was a normal top one fellow. You guys are not very normal, but I guess I was average, like you know. I was next hanging out with our buddy here, Kyle, you know, in Peru. You guys probably have a presumption that because we are with Kyle, we were doing bad things, but we were just chilling, all right? And then I was doing some jiu-jitsu, which I love. I got my first gold medal. I was about to win the national championship. Well, that would have been another fallacy, you know. Maybe I would have lost. Who knows? Anyways, just a normal day, walking down the street with my brother. We were just chatting, talking about business, life. I pretty much, I stepped on a metal surface, unstable surface, and it broke. And I fell about, how much, like 13 feet into a parking lot. And immediately that, I just fell, and next, I broke literally my skull. I broke I had like a spinal cord injury, which made me a quadriplegic guy. I literally fractured some bones. And then on top of that, I have like something called central cord syndrome, which makes my body shrink all the time. It makes my body shrink. Actually, go back one slide. That's literally a photo I think Alvaro took when they were taking me from one hospital to another one for some tests. I have a tube in my mouth because I have a respirator. And I was in a coma. I was in a coma for 3 days. And you wouldn't believe the kind of crazy dreams that someone has in a coma. And maybe we can talk about that later, not in this presentation, but yeah, that was crazy. But then I woke up, you can continue. I was in a coma for 3 days. Next slide. And then, I woke up. I see this doctor that comes to me and like, hey, he finally woke up. All right, let's check him out. All right, move your legs. Doesn't move too much, just 4 out of 10. Move your arms. Move your arms. Are you moving your arms? Oh, okay, 0. This guy won't move his arms. Just like that. And then next. And I'm like, whoa, what do you mean? And like, really? And he left. And I was like, all right, that was shocking. And I had a really strong pain that I can't describe today anymore. But I guess it was the hardest pain I've ever felt in my life. And I was doing jiu-jitsu, all right? And I was training hard. This was like 100 times that. And every day I felt like dying, you know? I felt like dying. My third night, after waking up, one of the doctors, like a lady, you know, and she was young, maybe not very experienced, she came to me, and she was reading some reports, I guess, you know, and she asked me, she looked at me and she was like, whew, oh my God. And she looked at me, and I don't know why with a smirk, but she was kind of like crazy, I guess, I don't know. And she said, how are you going to survive tonight? I was awake. I was like, what do you mean? I couldn't talk. Like, oh man, like, good luck, buddy. And I don't know why she said that, but I guess I also answered in my head, like, I'm going to show you how I'm going to survive. I'm going to show you. But that night for sure was tough. So I guess she had something in her paper that meant that night wasn't going to be easy. I had a really tough night. I remember literally going through waves of pain. Like, it started more painful, extremely painful. And then I would be like, oh, no, one more, just hold it. Okay, second wave. All right, I made it. And then it started again. And then it was like unstoppable. And I thought it had already been 1 hour. I look at my machine next to me, because I had like to reserve this respirator. And it's just been 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Yeah, I thought it been like 1 hour of hell, literally. And by the second or third hour of going through waves, I remember I had this dialogue with myself in which I said, oh God, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it. So let me say this, Jesus. I think I had a good life. I made a lot of mistakes. I haven't been perfect. Just please let my family understand that this is just part of life. And if you have to take me, Lord, do it. I really pushed as hard as I could. I really did my best. I've done my best. If you want me to die now, let's go. Let's die. I said that. And then I closed my eyes. I waited for 2 minutes. And I didn't die. And I was like, what the hell, I'm not dying. And then I had this thought in my mind that said, you could call it just my brain. You could say it's the Holy Spirit. You could say a lot of things, but it just said, you got 10 times more. And I said, what do you mean you have 10 times more? I have nothing. And then it said again, you got 10 times more. Yo, I have nothing. I have nothing. This is horrible. How much more? And he kept going, you got 10 times more. And I said, all right, I guess you win. I guess whoever's talking to me, I guess it means myself, you win. I'll go. Let's keep going. And we kept going. I kept going. I'm talking as a film to people. I kept going. And that was just one of the nights. And you could say that was a miracle, but I made it through the night. And it was pretty much 10 days of the same thing and lots of miracles every single day, fighting. So I hope no one of you ever goes through something like this ever in your life. Maybe you have, but it's true what they say, about like fighting. You do have to fight, It's not like no, you have to fight and it's like a theory. No, you have to fight. You have to fight. You have to move. I saw a lot of people dying next to me. Like I saw a family like crying next to me. It was because someone died. I'm like, Oh, thank God that's not me. Let's keep breathing. Let's keep breathing. Let's keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let's keep doing something. Let's keep doing something. One doctor said, "Yo, someone gave this guy some adrenaline shot or something. Why is he moving like that?" And like, I don't know, he's being like that. And I was just trying to. I was looking at the machine. I was looking at my heart rate, and I was like, "No, not below that. Not below that. Not below that. Not below that." And I didn't sleep for 10 days. I didn't sleep for 10 days. I just suffered for 10 days. That's the truth. But hey, it finally was over after 10 days. I mean, the hardest part. And then after that, I went into another like hospital. After a month of people telling me, "You're not going to be able to move. You're not going to be able to move your arms. You're not going to be able to walk," because a lot of people were saying that all the time. They just kept saying that all the time. I was like, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. Maybe it's true, maybe not. Who knows? They got some experience. Maybe they haven't seen my experience. You know? How do they know? How would they know? Right? But after a month, finally, I was able to move my one finger just a little bit. And that was the first sign of hope that I needed to know that much more was about to come. So I got a video here. Look, that was it. That was the first moment. Boop. That was it. After a month of not moving at all, that was it. And that immediately told me, man, if I can move a little finger, I can move my whole body. I can. Why not? Why not? They said I couldn't move anything at all. I'm moving one finger now. So they're wrong already. Maybe they are completely wrong, right? Maybe they're, have a lot of presumptions. You know what I mean? Yeah. Anyways, I still had to spend the next 3 months looking at the ceiling, feeling lots of pain because, it was still very painful. Every single day, I couldn't sleep. It was just extremely painful. And the reason why I was waiting for 3 months was because I needed a surgery in my L1 section of my colon. And they couldn't do the surgery because my lungs were so, I don't know, damaged or contracted that in order for me to give me a surgery, they would have to pretty much put me on a coma again. And maybe I wouldn't wake up this time. So that was a lot of risk to take. So we were thinking, man, should I do it, should I not? Should I do it, should I not? In the meantime, I was just doing some respiratory therapy. And that gave me enough so that after 3 months, I took the gamble, because it's a gamble, of taking back surgery. It's a gamble. That's what all my doctors and therapists say today. They say, yo, if you do a back surgery, it doesn't matter how much of authority that guy has. It's a 50-50. It's the truth. It doesn't matter if he is like the best doctor in the world. It's still a 50-50. And I guess you had luck. Well, maybe luck, I don't know. Here are some photos of those days. Alvaro was feeding me. My family was feeding me. I could barely eat, It was just pretty much me like I don't know how I put that foot into my mouth, to be honest. I don't know how. That was me gagging and trying to eat. And well, the good thing was that I finally was able to speak at some point, to speak a little bit, to talk. So I restarted working with the help of my brother and Siri, because Siri was actually pretty helpful. I was doing some stuff with ChatGPT, Siri. Yeah, that was the perfect moment to jump into AI, because I use it a lot now. And we were working hard. Finally, I was talking with Alvaro. Alvaro was finally, because Alvaro pretty much froze for like 2 months. Like, it was too shocking. He was the one that saved my life. He was walking with me, and he pretty much. You guys can talk to him later about the whole thing. It was madness. Well, so I had back surgery, and for the first time, after 3 months being, just laying down, I finally stood up for the first time. And it was like this. You can see my arm, that's called clonus. You can research that, but it has to be a lot with the spinal cord injury. And each time, just sitting was horrible. Just sitting for the first time, that was extremely painful. But standing up, that was way more painful. Okay, maybe you can't feel the pain there, but it was horrible. But anyways, I was finally standing up. And that was the first step in order for me to next start my therapy. Finally I can start my therapy. And that was my first moves. I was lifting that little ball, and it felt like it was like 20 pounds or 40 pounds. I don't know. I was barely lifting that. But I was there, just trying. I was holding those little marbles. Each one felt like 10 pounds. It was really tough, but I had to do it. I had to do it. And I told myself I was going to work as hard as I could to recover in record time. I said, yeah, because I got to be a jiu-jitsu champion again. That's one of the things I was saying. Of course, I was doing it for my family. Of course, I was doing it for everyone I love and for me. And only 3 months or 4 months later, I was already walking like this. I was like, yo, I'm going fast. This is working. This is great. This is a miracle. Everything is great. That means that I'm going to recover in less than a year now. And then I lost all my progress, or so I thought, because I had applied to this therapy center, which was specialized in SCI injuries, spinal cord injuries, and they said, oh, Diego, that's amazing that you're walking, but the only reason why you're walking is because you're using something called a spasticity force. You're not using your real force. What do you mean? The only reason why you're walking is because you have some kind of defense mechanism that's making you walk, and you need to start taking these meds. So you lose all that spasticity, because if you go back to the previous video, I wasn't really moving my shoulders at all. I was just using my legs, but not my shoulders. So they said the reason why you can use your shoulders is because you're too spastic, and we need to start giving you meds so you lose that spasticity. I said, all right, so what do? Let's start with the program. And after 4 months in this therapy center and taking these pills, I lost maybe 40-50% of my spasticity. But I literally lost all my strength. I was like, I couldn't even stand up, I couldn't move. So I had to start a new therapy process again. I lost it all again. Like, I literally couldn't move at all again. So I worked so hard, like for 4 months, 4 hours of therapy, 5 hours sometimes, and I lost it all. And you could say maybe that was like, oh man, but what's the option, right? Let's keep fighting. Let's keep fighting. So I went back home after the therapy center. I created this small mastermind because I befriended a lot of the people in this center, and the best specialists in the country. And I made like a small business, like I guess that's what we learn in business, right? We made like a small mastermind. I even got them drunk and eating beef, Look, they're all here sitting down, eating beef, drinking beer, and they're like discussing my case now. And they're like the best. So they're like really now getting into some debate. And I'm like, yeah, keep going, yeah. And then tell me all, I want to know. Kind of makes you an expert in the thing now too, Well, after doing 4 hours a day of therapy, I guess this is what I can do now, and I'm gonna try it out, because I couldn't move anymore. and I'm gonna try to dance a little bit. Yeah? And I try to, and, you know, it was hard, but it's just the beginning, you know, and something I really think is that we're all facing hardships all the time in life, you know. I wouldn't say mine is harder than yours. I guess we all have like different cases, but just maybe if you can get something from my presentation, just think maybe you got 10 times more than you think you have. Just maybe try to believe that. Here's what I've learned, all right? I've learned some things out of this. You guys are wise, you guys are older. I'm gonna try to tell you some things. Maybe I can share. Number one, it doesn't matter what others say. The only thing that matters is what you tell yourself. Bunch of real known experts came to me and told me, yo, you're not gonna move, you're done, your future looks really bad. Therapists would come and say the same. Yeah, you're really gonna get used to this life. You're gonna get used to this life, you know. They say that. This is what's gonna be for you, you know. Just don't make your hopes, don't hope too much for, you know. They'll tell you that, you know. Doctors will say that even more than therapists, because doctors don't wanna fall into any legal stuff, and they're always very protective of their words. But yeah, like nobody's faced your situation. Everyone has a different situation. Even if it's the same disease, you may just have some different genetics, and they don't know about it. So why even listen to them? Just do your best. Number two, be willing to lose it all, and then just keep fighting, you know, because it can happen. It can happen in business, it can happen in life. You can lose it all. You can lose it all tomorrow. So what? Life's more than money, life's more than, you know, life's short. So, yeah. What if I lose it all tomorrow? What if I fall down while I'm partying with Kyle, you know, and I lose it all? Well, we get back up. Tomorrow we are doing therapy again. That's what we're doing. Accept reality as quick as possible. This one's very important because some people really took some time, especially when I was in this therapy center, to accept that, hey, you are injured, you're gonna have to work, you're gonna have to do therapy. It's gonna hurt, man, it's gonna hurt. And they're like, no, but maybe I can try this, I can wait. No, dude, you need to start now. You have something. Clearly, you're not walking. Clearly, you gotta do something about it. So accept that as fast as you can. Maybe it's the same with business. Hey, we're in this position. Hey, we gotta do something about this. Same. Number 4. Choose your suffering. Or I was gonna say choose your hell, but because you will suffer either way. Okay, I was telling Damon this yesterday. Like, my therapy sessions are literally torture. Like, I'm getting tortured every day. You know, there's this guy that comes because I told him, yo, like just push as hard as you can, but don't break it. And he already is my friend, and I know he knows I won't ever put a lawsuit on him or anything. So he said, are you sure? The first time, yes, just do it as hard as you can, but just don't break it. And he will push 99%, you know, and yeah, that's making me improve a lot faster. Of course, I'm not gonna tell anyone if he ever makes a mistake, because that's a risk I'm running to. You know, I'm not gonna be like, hey, you broke my leg. Some people do that, and then therapists don't even want to work with them anymore because everyone's scared, of course. But you gotta choose. You gotta choose your suffering. something I wanted to add there. My therapist told me, one of my therapists told me 2 days ago, yo, Diego, you've advanced so much. You wouldn't believe how many people don't get to see this stage in which you are, in which you're already walking and looking at your spasticity. Most people, after 5 months of maybe battling, fighting, they already tell themselves, man, I'm not gonna make it. I think I'm just gonna stay here. Maybe time heals me. But no, they get worse, and then they just suffer all their lives, and then maybe they die young, I don't know. But, so what are you gonna choose? Would you rather choose suffering today or suffering anyways for the rest of your life? You gotta choose. There's no option. What do you want to do? You want to suffer today or you want to suffer tomorrow? Which one is going to be worse? I don't want to see my mom looking at me in my bed, me not being able to move a finger again. I don't want to see that. And tell me, no, I'm fine, it doesn't hurt. No, why? I want to see my mom looking at me and saying, hey, wow, you recovered. And I won't tell her how much I suffer. I won't tell her about that. I hope she doesn't look at this presentation. But yeah, I think it's clear, right? You got 10 times more in the tank than you think you have. I don't know how, but yeah, that lesson came to me from Glenda will say it's the Holy Spirit. Let's say it's the Holy Spirit. Let's call it the Holy Spirit. I believe it was. I believe it was. Don't underestimate your micro wins. Micro wins, why? Why? Everything you do in therapy, you won't see a change in a week or two. But even if I'm just like doing a little bit of this, a little bit of that, I'm winning like a small millimeter, like a really small one. But if it all compounds, and then one day I'm gonna be 100%. I don't even doubt that. I'm gonna be 100%. I'm gonna be partying again with Kyle, or before. I don't know. Anyways, and this one's I guess the one that I want to close with. Hold on to something. You know, when you are in the worst of the times, when you are, if you ever are, I hope you guys never are. But I guess if you're going through something really hard, and it just doesn't seem to be more space at the bottom, you are just like rock bottom. Hold on to something. Hold on to your belief that in God, in Jesus. Maybe you believe in Buddha, all right? Hold on to the feeling of your family. For me, it was Jesus and my family. I would close my eyes when I was suffering those 10 days, and I'll say, man, I'm going to be back with them. I'm going to fight for them. I'm going to fight for them. You know, I'm going to see my brother again. I'm going to be strong. I'm not going to die here. I wasn't being mean to the other guys dying, but I'm not going to die like that guy. I'm not going to die like this person. I'm not meaning in a bad way, you know, but that's how I stay alive, I guess. You know, I'm not gonna let this thing kill me. I'm gonna let this thing kill me. So, in conclusion, I think God's plans for you are greater than you can imagine. So just trust the process and let go, you know. Ups and downs are good. Ups and downs are good. You learn in the ups, you learn the downs. You actually get to learn more in the downs. It's crazy, but it's true. So I just, I thank the Lord. I thank my family for all the support. I thank you guys. because one of the first things I did after I came back home was email Damien, yo, this happened and I'm back home. And he was like, all right, let's meet. And I could barely talk back then, but I don't know how I did it. And he said, yo, once you can walk, come here, come to Top One. I was like, all right, let's do it. And I try to always put some kind of, so one of my motivations today to continue doing this, for example, is my brother today already won a gold medal in Brazil doing jiu-jitsu, and he beat some Brazilians. And he's right now winning, you know, he's winning a lot, but he doesn't know in 3 years I'm gonna kick his ass. So keep training, buddy. And that's it, thank you very much. Thank you guys.
Really proud of you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much for sharing that. There's like 100 things I could say about it. I feel like you said it all, but you know, there's something about that, a lot of things hit me about that, but that one slide when he says, you know, I was just walking down the street. You know, there are times in life when we sow bad things and, oh man, I was doing some stuff shady, the FTC caught me and I have a crisis, but like, sometimes you're just walking down the street and just life slams you. And like, how are you gonna respond? And just to see again, you know, these guys don't live in South Florida or Central Florida. These guys came from Peru. You know, him and his brother, and to be here, which is just such an honor. And I also just want to recognize you, Albert. Like, man, it moves my heart to see your care for your brother and to see that bond, you know, because in this life, in this journey, especially as entrepreneurs, like it's a challenge in life, just how important to have somebody you can trust, to have a best friend, to have, like you and John, to have a spouse or a business partner and a spouse that you just know, like, wow, look, you know, so I'm going to battle with, you know, if I die beside him, I die beside him, but, you know, I'll go out in blazing glory and I'll trust the person at my right side. And so, man, just touched to see your relationship. It's such a blessing. And like from the first time when I saw you come in last night, I'm like, oh my gosh, man, he must like, I'm in a crappy mood after I fly. You know, I'm in a bad mood. I'm not my best. Like he's like glowing, he's smiling, and Diego's like, and even now, man, he's like, oh man, you have no idea the pain I'm in. It's just my body's being crushed in half every day, and he's smiling, and I'm like, man, the joy that this guy has is just such a, man, it's challenging and it's convicting in a really good way. And so, thank you.
And we were talking earlier, you know, Bryson mentioned, I don't know if you saw, you know, I think you saw the beast mode training that I did.
I saw it all.
You know,
Yeah.
that's the real savage.
Nah,
That's the real savage.
thank you, sir.
So, thank you.